I always say, become friends with people smarter than you. They make you look good. And, well, a case in point is our next guest, Michael Colbruno, who knows more about more stuff than anyone I know, one of our regular guests.
I'm flattered. Thank you.
Michael, wonderful to have you here.
It's good to be back.
Well, today you're talking about a good cause that you've been working on, the restoration of the historic UC Theater. Why is this important, and how close are we to making it a reality?
Boy, a lot of questions at once. Let's see where we'll start. Well, first of all, let's start with, so people have the context of what the UC Theater is, and a lot of people are going to remember it as the place where they saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So right there at University in Shattuck, where the long lines were and people were dressed in all the great costumes and outfits of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, is where it ran for years. Well, it's been vacant for 12 years, and one of the real goals of the city of Berkeley has been to renovate that area, and it's becoming an arts and entertainment district. You've got right behind it, you've got Freight and Salvage, you've got Berkeley Rep, you've got the Aurora Theater, so it's becoming like this new
it is a real
district.
Cultural hub.
That's right, and the UC Theater is going to be a club not unlike the Fillmore Theater in San Francisco, and there's nothing like it in the East Bay, which is amazing. So it's 1,400 seat standard theater seating, and then 800 seats with table style. So if you've been to the Fillmore and you see the tables and you come. So it's a real interesting venue. The other thing that's interesting about it is that it's actually a nonprofit. So there's an educational component attached to it. There's all kinds of exciting things that are going to make this a very unique project for the entire Bay Area.
Now, and you're on the board of directors, so you're
Correct.
helping raise money.
That's correct.
And that's one of the hardest jobs in the world, is raising money.
It is.
But I understand you're over halfway to your goal.
We are. So we had a $5.2 million goal to completely renovate this theater to a state-of-the-art, basically, music venue. And so we're 60% of the way there. And we're right in the middle of a fundraising campaign right now called the Summer of Love. So very, very Bay Area. And, people can go to theuctheater.org and certainly get involved, which we're encouraging people to do, because we'd like to kick off construction next spring and get this thing open and have a new venue in the Bay Area.
Now, I know you are passionate about the East Bay. You've been there for many, many years. You're on the Oakland Port Commission.
Correct.
Am I correct? The way people experience the arts now has changed. I mean, we didn't have iPhones and all these devices and things. Right. Is it hard to get people excited about live theater, whether it's the East Bay or anywhere now? Or do you find it more of a challenge? And I say that as someone I know who loves opera and knows it very well.
Right. Well, I think it's the opposite. I think we're seeing people more engaged in live music than ever before. I think concerts are doing better than ever. They're multi-million-dollar endeavors now. The only difference is, like when you and I were young, we would do the little Bic lighter.
Yeah, now they're doing the iPhone.
Now you do the iPhone, right? So that's changed a little bit. But this is a great example of what's needed, because people have been clamoring in the East Bay for a venue this size. So
because it's big enough to make some money.
That's correct. And the thing is there's a lot of it maybe in San Francisco and other places, but if you ever come to a concert in San Francisco, or I come to the opera, it's the BART train full of people from the East Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's enormous demand. There's pent-up demand. I think the fact that you have 3 thriving theaters right a block away shows that it's a thriving community. I mean, it's rock and roll, it's live theater, everything's happening right there in central Berkeley.
Yeah, I mean, the East Bay is vital in a way that I think a lot of people don't. They always think of San Francisco as the arts center, but Berkeley's really got it going on. We don't have a lot of time yet left, but I'd like you to talk to me about what you see going into that space once the renovation is done.
Well, it's going to be a little bit of everything. So like I said, it'll be like the Fillmore. So you'll have the basic, the hip-hop, the rock and roll, the alternative music, all those venues. We're also going to try to get like Western classical, jazz. We're going to really try to make it a place that is for everybody. The component I really want to talk about that's critical and why it's a nonprofit, one of the reasons it's a nonprofit is it has an educational component. So this is an opportunity for Bay Area children, young people, to get involved in the arts, to learn the entertainment industry from the ground up. The gentleman who is in charge of this, David Mayeri, was with Bill Graham Presents here in San Francisco, started as an intern and left the company 35 years later as COO.
Well, you raise a good point. I mean, when you and I were young, there were classes, there were arts in the schools, and it's so vital to get young people into the theaters.
Absolutely.
We just got a moment left. If we want to give money, where do we go online?
They should give money to theuctheater.org, the Summer of Love. Let's make this thing happen. Let's get this theater open.
Thank you, Michael. We've been speaking with Michael Colbruno. Thanks for what you do for the UC Theater. I'm David Perry, and thank you for watching 10%.